Hey, hey, fam. I am excited. I'm going right on live today because I have to get some things done. So we're not doing a countdown. We're not doing any of that. I'm just going to go right on into it and come on live. So if we have not met, my name is Keandra Ward. I am the founder of the KWI Collective. We're a marketing public relations and media firm right here in Tampa, Florida, where we help you get clarity, gain focus, and generate profits through clarity and sharpening your tools and cultivating client relationships that drive visibility and growth. So, y'all, I'm excited. I'm coming on to let you guys know that I know you've seen a lot coming from me over the past 4 weeks. It was kind of, one of them things where God was just like, go. And it just kind of all bam, 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 bam. And then opportunities came and, immediately that I wasn't expecting that I was able to post about, hey, let me know that you're here. And so one of the things is we started our Backstage Pass community. It is an online community where you'll find all things marketing, public relations, and media right here on Facebook. The General Pass is complimentary, so it's not a paid thing to get in there. But if you want to upgrade while you're in there, you have those opportunities to do that, to work a little bit more closely with myself and my team. But I did our first live in our community today and our first teaching, and I'm excited, you guys. What I realized is that over the years, marketing has always been something that I've loved to do. And I've done it forever. In every aspect of anything I've ever done, I've always done some type of marketing. Now, the crazy thing about it is, for whatever reason, I had a fear. I had a fear of just coming out and doing it and saying it and just being in it. And through life and through just some of the things that have gone on in my life over the past 3 years, it really pushed me. And then having people that support me really pushed me to be like, you know what, I'm going. This is what I'm doing. I'm we doing it right. And then getting the all access pass, the grace from God to be able to do what He has called me to do in this season. So tonight, inside of the group, we really kind of just begin to clarify the foundational pieces. We're beginning to talk about the foundational pieces of prepping your brand for visibility. Like, I want people to understand that, yes, visibility is great, but if your brand isn't properly prepared for it, then it may not have the effects that you're looking for. And if you don't understand what you're looking for out of that level of visibility, then you may not get the results that you thought you should get, because you didn't have a sound understanding of what that medium, what type of visibility you probably will get from the medium that you're visible on, right? So the expectation. So a lot of times when it comes to visibility and it comes to marketing, it's the expectation that kills people more so than anything, because they don't have an understanding of the medium and what expectation you or results you probably will get from that medium. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that we're going to delve into inside of our complimentary group. Now, I'm hyped because I haven't really gone live in teaching like that in a while. Most of you guys know that when I started out, I was teaching. I was on live all the time, teaching, training, holding classes, especially here and in our school, KBI. But I had to pull back. One, because life, y'all know life be out here lifing, and it just was what it was. Life caused me to pull back. But then once I was able to go back, I just had this pull of not going back and to really sit quiet and really map out where I'm going next and what we're doing next. So in that, I've been able to definitely just have a bring clarity to who I am and what I'm called to do in this season, become very non-negotiable with what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it and the standards at which I want to do it. And literally the non-negotiables really came up within the past, I would say six months or so for me. And then going back and looking at the successes and mistakes that I've made in this brand, starting this brand over the past 2 years. Because anytime you're starting something out, you're so excited, you're gung-ho, you're bound to make mistakes and you're bound to have some hits. You'll have some wins and you have some losses. So I'm not one that don't just look at and analyze my wins. I look and analyze my losses as well. And so that's some of the things that I've been doing. And then some of those losses, I got to go back and correct it. You know what I'm saying? We don't just need to analyze it and be like, oh, I got to go back and make some corrections in some areas. And so those are things that's kind of where I am as it relates to this level of the brand. Now, most times when you're building a brand, this people get to this part at year 3, 4, or 5, right? But here is year 2. We've scaled and we're moving so fast that I'm really at that place where I have to pull back and really look. And that's what we've been doing inside of our group today. Like I want them to really begin to focus on them and be honest with yourself. The one thing that I found in business is that people just aren't honest with themselves. Like, you ain't got to be honest with me. I mean, well, let me not say that. I want you to be honest with me, but like, and I'm saying it in regards to numbers, right? So when you really ask people their numbers, they don't want to give you the true numbers because they feel that you feel based off of how they look online, they probably should be in a different place. Well, that's not necessarily true. That's not how I look at things. I have a reason of how I look at things visibility wise, because I understand the different phases of visibility, which is why I tell everybody there, I stood back and I asked God, I said, really help me delve out this flow, right? And so that's why I tell you it's get clarity, gain focus, generate profits. Because until you're extremely 100% clear and then you have a very linear focus, it's hard to generate consistent profits in your business. It just is what it is. And so I know that and I see that and I'm very aware of that. So numbers don't scare me. Whether you have high numbers or low numbers when we meet, that doesn't phase me. It don't matter. My thing is, all right, where are you and where are you going? And how are you going to get there? And are you clear enough? Are you focused enough so that you can generate those profits, right? So those are the things that I look at. Those are the things that I worry about. I could care less what the bottom line is right now. What I want to know is where you're trying to go, and helping you create a linear focus on that. So today inside of our group, like we really, really, really were able to just begin to talk about that. So let me go ahead and put the website here in the chat. So if you're interested in joining us inside of our complimentary group, do not hesitate to visit the website. Look at the top, kind of click on the drop downs and you'll see join our complimentary group. Click on that and it'll give you the link right to click to access it and join us in our complimentary group. Now, here's the second thing about that is we do ask you some general initial questions to join the group. Whether I know you or not, my team has been instructed, if you don't fill out all those questions, you won't get access. We are going to start leaving a message like, hey, please, because those questions help us within the content of what we're doing for the people that are there. Again, you got to know your market, right? So if you don't answer those questions, we won't get to know where you are and what your true need is so that we can give you what you need. I don't need you, because who wants to be in another group? You know what I'm saying? There's tons of online groups. Who wants to be just in another group? No. If you're coming into this group with us, we want you to be active. We want you to show up. We want you to collaborate. We want you to network. We'll have opportunities for that. I want you to be an active participant. If you're just coming to look at who, I love you guys. Look at who on this page. Don't come over there. Because I want people that are really ready to work on the marketing, PR, and media strategies or building the foundation of their brands for that. Inside of that group, we offer elevated experiences to work with us, all of those things. But I'm excited, y'all. I was able to just get back to me. I was, just the flow of who I'm called to be as an educator. If you know me, you know that I am always in a class. I'm always taking time to learn something new so that I can pour it back into the communities that I serve. And, having the release to be able to come back to do this in just a different way, in a way that's not so taxing, that doesn't drain me, and that doesn't allow me to that allows me to pour back into the community from my excess actually from my excess than in my cup. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start pouring from inside of your cup, you're beginning to deplete, and then you won't have enough for you. And so I really had to step back and take a good look at that, and take a good look at where I was, and the fact that I was pouring from the bottom, like that, that last little swig, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to pour out to other people from that last little swig, you guys. And I'm like, nah, it just became so overwhelming. And then with me trying to pour from the last little swig, and then life in, child, please, it was over. Okay, wasn't no so that is why the mastermind that I'll do yearly for our business is called Pour, because I want you guys to understand where and how to pour, but also the concepts of marketing, public relations, and media. And you guys know I'm an acronym person, so pour does have a marketing, PR, media, acronymical. I don't even know if that's a word. Acronymical structure to it. If it's not, it sounds like it's one, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that. Y'all can give me credit for that. Structure to it, but it also has an overall meaning of pouring from your excess, then inside of from the excess out, the overflow, versus inside of your cup, when you're doing the things that you're called to do in this earth. And so I'm just really excited about where we are and where I am, personally, professionally, mentally. You guys know I've told you guys a lot that with the passings and that it hasn't been easy. Like, going through grief, it hasn't been easy. There have been processes, like there is something that I have to complete, and I know I need to complete this before the end of the year. And honestly, for me, it doesn't take me long to do things, especially when I'm graced to do them, right? So I know that it's not going to take me long to get this done, and people are waiting for me to do this. But every time, every time I start doing it, I mean, emotions, I'm boohoo crying, I'm getting depressed. I had to go talk to my grief counselor. Like, it's been hard. So I'm like, okay, I know that that's something that I have to work my way up to. So I have to do it in incremental pieces, instead of trying to delve into and do everything at one time, because it's still a part of my heart posture, in the level of grief that's not ready to explore and finish that. Although I know that I need to, and I know that I will. Right, because it's just that's the way grief, grief comes in stages, and everybody deals with it so differently. And for me, I had no idea at first. I thought I was good. I ain't gonna be like, I was like, oh, I'm good, I'm feeling all right. I'm sad, and I'm having my moments, and then all of a sudden that thing, especially the beginning of this year, January of this year, that thing hit like a ton of bricks. I was like, I can't, I won't, I'm not, I don't want to get out this bed. I can't. Every time I think about anything, I'm tearing up and crying, and I'm emotionally unstable because I am grieving. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, I couldn't watch a TV show. It made me cry. I remember I was somewhere, and this little baby fell, and the screech that baby had crying, it made me tear up. Like I was so, and I cry, y'all, and I am, but I not like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really had to deal with just the internal of who I was in order to move forward and be where I am today. Now, do I feel like I'm whole and I'm ready? And no, I don't believe that, because I know that, again, grief is a process and it's different levels. And because when you're grieving, it's the loss of someone who is not coming back, you're going to always have levels of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'll ever get over it, but I do know that there'll be some constructs around how I manage myself when I'm feeling that way. And I am thankful, and that I do have the ability to work from home and make my own schedule, so that I can, like, this morning, it was a harder morning for me, I'm gonna be honest. So I slept in a little bit longer, and I turned my worship music on and just kind of just laid there and went to sleep with it for a couple more hours before I got up. Now that's not the case for everybody, so I suggest that you really do put some type of constructs around you, whether you're at work, if you have to step away, find your space, of comfort, even if you have to step away and do those, because it does help in the process of grieving. And then for me, I realized that, I know I posted the other day, I was like, yo, I feel like grief made me a little soft, because I know in the past 3 years, I done let stuff fly that Keandra Nicole Ward would never let fly. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I and on the flip side of not just with other people doing stuff to me, but just me not showing up for me either. I was moving in a way that just wasn't common to me. And so I had to address that, and I had to look at that, and I had to make those changes and one, figure out why. And to be honest, it wasn't until the last 2 weeks when someone asked me a question that made me focus on it, to really determine, like, dang, why am I, what is happening here? Why is that happening? And man, I know my stuff, and I'm good at what I do. So why you up here showing up half, you know, half par, I don't know what the word I would want to say, not 100% of who I would normally be and how I would normally act, and um where does that come from, and what is that a result of? You know what I'm saying? So I think that, what we have to realize, and one of the structures that I've put in my mindset around myself is, as a business owner, developing a business, being the CEO of a business, and thinking about it, life will life, right? So as a female, females can be, now I ain't gonna lie, I do know some really emotional guys, but females can be more emotional as it relates to just life and business and everything else, right? So I started looking at, founders. I watch a lot of documentaries about founders and the way that they've overcome. Now you got to think about, in most cases, they're male founders, and that during their build, life was life in, but they still progress. So I started structuring my mindset around that, like, just because I'm having a day, that doesn't mean that my business needs to suffer because I'm personally having a day. Like, I can't do that. I can't, not if I want to build a solid foundational structure and build a solid business. Like, I am going to be, I am an emotional creature. I am going to be emotional, but I gotta still build if this is what I'm called to do. If it's supposed to be a part-time thing for you, then that's fine. But if you're really trying to build an organization, a foundational structure, corporation, organization that, leaves a legacy, that it does not just involve you, you do have to put some structures around your emotions. Like, it just is what it is. So yeah, I have to show up in certain ways, or put constructs around, which means I have to build a team around what I'm trying to do for those days that I just can't. Like, those days that I can't, then my virtual assistant can. You know what I'm saying? So I may not be 100% available, but I can type in our meeting, say, hey, I need these things done for today, so that the business still operates even though I'm having a day. So sometimes you have to sacrifice. If you have to cut out doing some things that you personally would do for yourself, so that you can hire a VA. If you're looking for a VA, go to the VArecruiter.com. They can help you get it, because that's where I got mine. We can help you get it, because that's where I got mine. And she's been with me a year and has been an amazing asset to my business. And we've, had other VAs in the construct of us building, what you see today. And if you know what I'm saying. So I mean, I had to look at where I was, and knowing that, with me grieving, and me wanting to build a sustainable business, I had to build some constructs around keeping the business running if I'm just having a moment. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the business running. I went to Costa Rica for, I think it was like 5 days. I was gone for Costa Rica, and the business still ran. You know what I'm saying? People couldn't even tell I was gone until I got back and I posted that I was gone. You know what I'm saying? So, if you think about these big corporations and their CEOs and the people who built these corporations, do you think that they didn't have life in while they were building? Yes, they did. And yes, they still do. Life still lives for them. But we can't emotionally stop our business because life is life. And if this is what we're called to do, especially if we're saying, oh, I want to use this business to get off of my corporate job, because that was my goal. I was like, I need to get up and out of here. Right. So what happens you structure a business to get off of your corporate job, and then life because it's going to life, especially when you're walking in purpose. So what you're gonna do, stop, and then now you don't have any income coming in because your emotions cannot handle being a CEO. That's crazy. So you have to put some emotional constructs around you to be able to build properly. That's a whole nother live. That's a whole nother situation. But it's just something that I've had to deal with. Am I always good at it? Does it always work? I mean, do I have my moments? Absolutely. Do I fail sometimes? Absolutely. But the one thing about me is I'm gonna get right back up, and I promise you, you probably didn't even know I failed because I've put some constructs around that, unless I told you so. And that's the thing. I look at who, what, when, where, and why, and I think it's important for us to build around that. If this is something you're supposed to do, and it's supposed to be the driving force of your focus, of your income, and your purpose for your life and your brand. All right, guys. So I definitely hope that this has helped. I believe this is day 18 or 17 for me for the 30-day lives. Again, I went live for the first time in our marketing, PR, and media private group. You can find the website um, on in the comments, our website, and the links, the pages to our community. If you want to join us, please feel free to tap in. If you have any problems getting access to anything on our website and our group, because of course we are just developing those structures and there still may be some kinks in it, please let me know. DM me and I'll make sure that you get the access that you need, or the information that you're requesting if you can't get it from the site. All right. Hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. And always remember, you set the tone for your day, year in life. Make it a great one. See y'all tomorrow.